Imagine the sheer terror of realizing your child has vanished without a trace. The panic, the helplessness, the desperate prayers for a safe return. Now, imagine discovering that the person you trusted most was behind it all. This is the horrifying reality of the Amari Nicholson case, a story of deception, betrayal, and devastating loss. The story we are looking at today is one of profound heartbreak and betrayal, where the innocent life of 2-year-old Amari Nicholson was cut tragically short. Let's explore the shocking details of this case, the mistakes that were made, and the chilling warning signs that were overlooked. Could this have been prevented? What lessons can we learn to protect the most vulnerable among us? It began as a desperate plea for help, a true crime story that mobilized the community and law enforcement alike, capturing attention and igniting hope amid uncertainty. In May 2021, 2-year-old Amari Nicholson was reported missing in Las Vegas. His mother's boyfriend, Terrell Rhodes, claimed the child had been abducted by a woman posing as a family member. What followed was a heart-wrenching week-long search that revealed the unthinkable, a murder committed in cold blood by the very man who had sworn to protect Amari. Taylor Nicholson grew up in a modest neighborhood, facing her own share of challenges from an early age. Raised in a single-parent household, Taylor learned resilience and resourcefulness from her mother, who worked multiple jobs to make ends meet. These values became integral to Taylor's character, shaping her determination to provide a better future for her own child. Becoming a mother at a young age was not part of Taylor's original plan, but she embraced the role with unwavering love and commitment. Amari Nicholson was a bright-eyed toddler known for his infectious smile and gentle demeanor. Born to Taylor Nicholson, a young woman navigating the challenges of single motherhood, Amari was a source of joy and hope for those who knew him. Taylor devoted herself to creating a stable life for Amari, even as she struggled with financial difficulties and emotional setbacks. Moving to Las Vegas was part of her plan to start anew, hoping the city's opportunities could bring brighter prospects for her small family. Despite her struggles, Taylor's devotion to Amari was evident to those around her. Friends described her as a loving, hands-on mother who would often forego her own needs to ensure her son's happiness and well-being. Taylor had described him as a curious, playful child who loved colorful toys and giggled at cartoons. Amari's favorite pastime was chasing bubbles in the park, where his laughter often drew smiles from strangers. He loved bedtime stories, always requesting his favorite book about a friendly dinosaur. Despite their modest circumstances, Taylor ensured Amari always felt loved and safe. His innocence and vulnerability made the circumstances of his death all the more horrifying. Amari's world revolved around his mother, Taylor, and her boyfriend, Terrell Rhodes, who had become a fixture in their lives. However, Amari's biological father, Marcus, had been a distant figure. Marcus and Taylor had met during her late teens and shared a brief relationship. While Marcus initially showed excitement about becoming a father, his interest waned over time, and he gradually drifted out of Amari's life. Marcus struggled with his own set of challenges, including unstable employment and sporadic legal troubles, which made consistent involvement difficult. Taylor's relationship with Marcus was strained. Despite her efforts to maintain a connection for Amari's sake, their communication often devolved into arguments about unmet promises and financial support. Marcus would occasionally reach out, promising to visit or send money, but these gestures were often empty, leaving Taylor feeling frustrated and alone in raising their son. As time passed, Marcus's involvement became more sporadic, and Taylor stopped expecting consistency from him. Their once hopeful relationship had turned into a painful cycle of broken trust and disappointment. Marcus struggled with his own demons, including run-ins with the law and personal instability, which made it difficult for him to be a reliable father figure. Taylor, recognizing this, tried to shield Amari from the turmoil, though deep down, she wished her son had the fatherly love he deserved. This absence partly influenced her decision to welcome Rhodes into their lives, believing he could fill the void left by Marcus. She saw Rhodes as a second chance at stability, someone who could offer the emotional and parental support Marcus had failed to provide. But beneath the surface, the household was not as stable as it seemed, and the decision to trust Rhodes would later haunt her in unimaginable ways. Terrell Rhodes, 30, appeared at first glance to be a doting partner and surrogate father. However, friends and family noticed cracks in his facade. He was described as controlling and temperamental, traits that sometimes flared into anger. Rhodes had a troubled past and a history of difficulties maintaining steady employment. Despite this, Taylor believed he could provide stability and support. The relationship between Taylor and Rhodes was complex and, at times, tumultuous. While she relied on him for emotional support and childcare, there were frequent arguments and an underlying imbalance of power. Taylor, hopeful for stability, ignored early red flags such as Rhodes' controlling tendencies and quick temper. Friends later revealed that Taylor occasionally confided in them about feeling trapped and unsure of Rhodes' reactions to even minor frustrations. She described moments where he would oscillate between affection and cold detachment, leaving her emotionally drained and questioning her choices. Despite these warning signs, Taylor hoped Rhodes' presence could provide a sense of normalcy for Amari, especially as she worked to rebuild their lives in a new city. Rhodes often assumed the role of a father figure, taking Amari to the park and playing with him at home, but this facade masked a darker reality. Neighbors reported overhearing arguments that often ended with Rhodes storming out, leaving an anxious silence in his wake. Taylor's attempts to mediate and maintain peace only further strained their relationship. In hindsight, these patterns foreshadowed the tragedy to come, exposing a relationship built on instability and unmet expectations. But no one could have predicted the depths of his cruelty. On May 5, 2021, Taylor left Las Vegas for a short trip to Colorado to assist her mother. Amari remained in the care of Rhodes at the Emerald Suites, a budget hotel near the Las Vegas Strip where the family had been staying. Rhodes later claimed that a woman, supposedly a relative of Taylor, had come to the hotel and taken Amari away. However, surveillance footage from the hotel's premises showed no sign of this alleged visitor, raising immediate suspicions. Rhodes' behavior during the search also drew attention. He appeared unusually calm and detached for someone whose child was supposedly abducted. Neighbors later reported hearing loud arguing and crying from their hotel room the night before Amari was reported missing, further deepening concerns. Investigators noted inconsistencies in Rhodes' account, and forensic analysis revealed traces of blood in the room, which would later match Amari's DNA. These mounting clues began to unravel Rhodes' narrative and pointed to a far darker reality. Panic ensued. Taylor returned to Las Vegas immediately, and a massive search was launched. Flyers were distributed in neighborhoods, plastered on storefronts, and handed out at busy intersections. Volunteers scoured parks, alleys, and open fields, hoping to find any sign of the missing toddler. Social media posts spread like wildfire, with hashtags like #FindAmari trending locally and capturing national attention. Candlelight vigils were held as concerned citizens and activists joined together to pray for Amari's safe return. Local news outlets provided constant updates, broadcasting live from search sites and interviewing anyone who might have seen something. Law enforcement utilized search dogs and drones to cover vast areas, and tips flooded in, though most led to dead ends. As the days stretched on, the desperation became palpable. Taylor made emotional pleas on camera, begging for her son's safe return and promising to do anything to get him back. Standing before a sea of microphones, her voice cracked as she described Amari's favorite activities and how much he meant to her. "Amari is my whole world," she said, clutching a photo of him tightly. "Please, if anyone knows anything, come forward. I just want my baby home."
Odes.
How's his last name?
Rhodes.
Rhodes?
Rhodes.
Okay. Do you guys both live in Las Vegas? Then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess just tell me your thoughts. I mean, this is 2 days now without your son. I mean, what's going through your mind?
We're devastated and hoping for the best of his safe return and, just saying our prayers and hoping that God's looking out for him and that he's not in any type of distress or danger. We just want our baby back as soon as possible in the best condition possible.
And it's grown to the amount that the father's saying that his sister didn't come get him. And if that's really the case, then where's my son?
I mean, it seems to be, yeah, I mean, there's different stories floating around out there. I mean, can you just explain to me what you think happened? Or like,
He had got a knock on the door at 6 a.m. from a lady representing herself as Giorgio's sister. And then situation process, he's trying to call me to figure out what's going on. And I'm asleep in Colorado and I wasn't able to answer in time. So as he's packing a bag, she grabs the baby and runs out the apartment. And by the time he's able to try to go find where she went, she was nowhere to be seen.
so you think this was the father's sister?
Yes.
To my knowledge, yes.
And what is her name? Okay, and his sister. And why would she come there?
I'm not sure. They knew the area where we lived, but they never knew the apartment, so they stalked us until they were able to find where the baby was. And
Why would she take him?
because the dad wanted to be in the child's life.
He didn't want to see him getting raised by me and her. He wanted to be in his child's life with the rest of his kids. Apparently, he has a house. He has a stable foundation with 4 other more children, and the only missing piece was Amari.
I've always tried to be the cordial parent, as never not allowed him to see him or contact him. I just always told him, as long as you put in the effort to be in the child's life and show that you're trying to be the father, then, that's fine. But he wasn't doing that. He wouldn't reach out, wouldn't call. It would always just be a message and once in a blue moon. It was never consistent, never like he really wanted to do that. And then we had an argument on Monday, and then he did this on Wednesday.
So, you're saying that she came and took him. Has anybody talked to her at this point?
Police talked to her. We've called. They're denying everything. They've been searched, and he's nowhere to be found. So we're just waiting till he shows up somewhere.
So she's saying that I didn't take him.
Yes.
Right. So who do you know who went there with him in the first place then?
What do you mean?
With that hotel, who took Amari to the hotel? Was he?
What hotel?
Weren't they staying at the Emerald Suites?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where we live.
That's where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
we live at the Emerald Suites, and nobody knew which apartment or whatever, so they stood outside watching to see where we were. And then that's when they realized, they finally saw Amari and saw him with him, and then that's when they came knocking on the door.
So who was at the Emerald Suites that day then?
He was left with Terrell.
With you, okay. Okay, that's what I thought. And so can you just explain what were you guys doing prior to, or what were you doing in the morning?
Before that occurred, we had just woke up. I had just fed him breakfast, and I was in the room on my phone at this time, laying down. He's in there playing with his toys, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, and it was a woman saying that she was her baby daddy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was there to pick up my stepson.
Did you know her? Had you know her?
I never seen any sides of her baby daddy's family, so I never recognized her.
So then what happened?
So then I go to proceed to, okay, I'm gonna pack him a bag up, pack some of his belongings, and when that happens, I turn around to call her to tell her if this is this true, was this really prearranged? And as I'm doing that, she says she don't need anything from my stepson. They got everything they need for him, and basically just took off.
So you did she take him then at that point?
Yeah, she basically says she got everything that she needs for him, and just left.
Now, but you didn't know her though, correct? You never seen her?
No.
So did you not know this person you were letting take Amari away?
I mean, from my knowledge, I already was told like someone was going to stop by, somebody was going to, but I never knew who. So I still had that in my head that somebody was coming by.
Who said somebody was going to come by?
That's what I was notified from my girlfriend prior to those days leading up.
So did you tell him that somebody was going to come by and get him?
I never said anybody was coming to get anybody. But I did say somebody would be by. So with that being planted in his head, he
That's what I took that as.
took it as she was there for Amari.
So who do you think actually what came to the door and took him away then? Do we even know?
We know, and police are investigating everything and doing the best of what they can to try to reach out to everyone and try to find him wherever he is.
And I'm sorry, just so I'm clear then, who do you think came to the door that day and took him away?
His sister.
His sister. Okay. So do you think indeed that was the sister who came that day?
Yes.
To take the, okay. And what did she say to you? I mean, did you talk to her?
The only words that we had were that she was there to pick up my stepson, and that she already had talked to my girlfriend about it. So when I turned around to go pack his bags up, get his few belongings together, she already said that she didn't need anything. They had everything for him, and that was it.
You didn't even give him all his things and stuff then?
She didn't take anything.
She didn't take anything from you guys. Okay. So now, did you okay the sister to come and get him?
No. But his family never knew where we lived. They knew the area, but not the apartment number. And I never spoke to anyone giving the okay for anyone to come and take him or have him or anything. They just showed up uninvited.
Okay. So you never told him that she was coming?
No.
But did you tell him somebody was coming?
Yes.
Did you tell him who was coming?
No.
No.
No. So did you know exactly who was coming? You didn't know? Okay.
When she arrived, that's first thought I had in my head was, so this was someone, I guess, that was coming.
I'm sorry, just so I'm clear, I'm sorry I keep asking redundant questions, but so are you saying that the sister never had permission to come and get him?
Correct.
She just came and took him?
Yes.
And have you talked to her lately? I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half. That was the first time that Giorgio went to prison 3 years ago for abusing me while I was pregnant. And he got released last year around August, and he visited him 2 days while he was in town. And that was the only time Giorgio's ever met and seen Amari. So his family, that was the first time they had seen him, was the one day of the visit. They haven't been to contact me, they haven't showed any emotion towards this. They haven't contacted me to get the story. They haven't contacted me to see where he is. They're not telling me anything. And then he sends a video into the newscasting and he's smiling in the video. He's not showing any type of emotion, like as if he's really a concerned parent. It's like he just wants the publicity from it.
So my understanding is he hasn't seen Amari Miles.
No.
Correct.
What we were told.
I've been present.
You've been here, okay. So if he really hasn't been around, why do you think now all of a sudden he wanted to be around Amari?
We've always had, like I said earlier, I've always tried to be the cordial person, try to co-parent and whatnot. If he reaches out to me, I respond back. He's asked to see him a few times, but we haven't been able to make that arrangement work out yet. So he has asked to see him before. He has asked for him to come out there. He asked to have him for Christmas, and we had already booked plans before he had asked, so we weren't able to make that happen. So he has tried to, but like I said, he doesn't put in any effort into trying to, be a father in his life. So I'm not going to send my son to a complete stranger when, I've been through that, and I'm trying to give my son the best life that he can and not have to go through the things that I did in my childhood. So I'm telling him, be more involved, FaceTime more so he can recognize you, so he can get an idea who you are. And he never wants to do that. He expects everyone to do what he says on his time.
Let me back up just for a second. So when they came over, you said you called her, right? And did you even talk to him right away?
No, I was still asleep. So my phone, I didn't hear the first few calls until it was already too late.
And when was it? How long was it when she came and took Amari till you actually finally talked to her?
This wasn't that long. Probably like a minute, 2 minutes. Because I called repeatedly until she answered the phone.
And then what did you do after she left with him?
I went running around the complex, just trying to search for any type of whereabouts or if I see anything.
So when you finally did get a hold of her, what did you tell her?
I asked her, was anybody supposed to come get him? Was that who she was talking about when she said someone's going to be by? And she said no.
I was in panic mode and I told him no.
Okay, so now you're thinking, okay, I was not supposed to probably do that or whatever the case. And then so you started running around, looking around. Can you tell me more about that?
There's nothing. I was running around, found nothing, seen nothing. They were already gone.
He never handed the baby off to anybody. She took him.
So there was no reason to look. Now, when did you call police?
Right after.
And what did they tell you?
They came out and it was a misunderstanding, said it was a civil matter and stopped the pursuit of a missing child until I arrived into town at 3. And plane landed at 2:30, so I made it home around 3. And that's when they started the actual investigation.
So when did you leave to go to Colorado?
I left on Friday.
About what time?
About 4.
4. Did you fly or drive?
I flew.
And what time did the plane leave?
Like around 3:50.
3:50. And what airline was it?
Frontier.
Okay, and tell me again why you were in Colorado.
My mom got attacked by a dog, and the dog ate her ligaments, chewed her foot up, and she needed surgery she was in surgery for 2 hours and got over 60 stitches in her foot. And so she's crippled on a scooter, can't walk, can't do anything. So I went out there to help take care of her.
And so you got there Friday, correct?
Correct.
At what time did you get in? I'm sorry.
I got in around like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, okay. And then you stayed there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday's when I came back out here when I heard what happened.
And what time did the plane leave on Wednesday and get back?
It left at 1:30 and it got here at 2:30.
2:30? Was it Frontier?
Yes.
Again? Okay. And I mean, what were you doing all this time after he told you this? And were you just freaking out?
Panic mode, freaking out, crying, screaming, just my baby's gone. And I'm hundreds of miles away and I can't go out and look for him. So I'm rushing, driving to the airport. My mom lives in the country, so it's a 2.5-hour drive to the airport. So I'm speeding through all these little hick towns trying to hurry up to get to the airport because my baby's missing and I need to hurry up and get home.
Yeah. And what would you say to Amari who's out there watching and the TV, or the sister is watching, or whoever's? What would you say to him?
If anybody got him, bring him back. If anybody know anything, let us know.
Mommy and Daddy loves him, and we hope that he's okay and playing happy, and we're gonna bring you home soon.
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, it must be not have the little boy. I mean, anybody who has a child would just be going, "What the heck?"
It's sickening. He's a little mini human. He's 2. He's defenseless and has no say so. He can't defend himself. He can't, say I'm done here and I'm coming home. He can't walk. He doesn't know anything. And to do this to a child is disgusting when in reality, all you needed was communication.
And I know that a lot of people, there's a lot of things being said. There's probably some rumors floating around. There's all probably kinds of crazy talk happening. People might start pointing the finger at your boyfriend or maybe even you. I mean, what would you say if that starts to happen? What would you respond to that?
It's inaccurate. It's a bunch of strangers just reading comments and not understanding the situation, not understanding the background, and just trying to put their 2 cents into it when it's all inaccurate. All this negative hateful energy of pointing fingers at me and him can be put into trying to find our baby and bring him home instead of causing more drama. I mean, we're hurting enough. We're all distraught over this. We're a complete mess, breaking down, and reading all these things and seeing all these hateful things is not helping the situation at all. If we knew where our son was, we would bring him home.
Is there anybody in the family pointing the finger at you at this point? Have you heard anybody talking bad about you?
Her anguish was palpable, resonating with parents and community members who rallied around her cause. Beside her, Rhodes feigned concern, adding his own plea for Amari's safe return, though his detached demeanor sparked quiet suspicion among some. The press conference aired repeatedly on local television, amplifying awareness of the case. Volunteers who had never met the family were inspired to join search efforts, driven by Taylor's tearful appeals. The public plea became a turning point, galvanizing the community and adding urgency to the investigation. However, for those who later learned of Rhodes' confession, his calm performance during these moments added a chilling layer of deception to an already heart-wrenching tragedy. However, as the hours turned to days, investigators began to notice discrepancies in Rhodes' demeanor. His lack of urgency contrasted sharply with the community's frenzied efforts. While volunteers tirelessly searched for Amari, Rhodes remained oddly detached, failing to participate in the efforts and avoiding the media whenever possible. His statements to law enforcement contained shifting details, including conflicting timelines and vague descriptions of the alleged abductor. Surveillance footage from the hotel further contradicted his account, showing no signs of a woman taking Amari. Additionally, his body language and evasiveness raised red flags during police questioning, prompting detectives to press harder. Law enforcement started to focus on these inconsistencies, eventually leading them to uncover the horrifying truth behind Amari's disappearance. The turning point came when detectives re-interviewed Rhodes on May 11, 2021. Under intense questioning, Rhodes began contradicting his own statements, fumbling over details that had previously seemed rehearsed. Detectives noticed his body language shifting. His hands shook, his breathing became uneven, and his eyes darted nervously. Sensing the pressure closing in, Rhodes finally broke down and confessed to a horrific truth. He had killed Amari. Rhodes admitted that the child had urinated on himself, an act that triggered his uncontrollable rage. In a fit of anger, Rhodes struck the toddler 3 to 4 times with his fist. Amari's small body couldn't withstand the blows, and he turned blue, struggling to breathe. In a desperate attempt to cover up his crime, Rhodes initially staged the disappearance, fabricating a story about a mysterious woman taking the child. However, his carefully crafted deception unraveled as forensic evidence, and inconsistencies in his statements exposed the grim reality. Realizing what he had done, Rhodes panicked. He later admitted to burying Amari's body in a shallow grave near the hotel, hoping the lies would buy him time. Instead, his confession sealed his fate, revealing a tragedy that had shaken the entire community to its core.
A developing story here at 4:30. The body of Amari Nicholson found a few hours ago. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Christian Cáceres.
I'm Kirsten Joyce. This discovery was made at Paradise and Twain, the very same area where the little boy was last seen 1 week ago.
That's where Joe Mueller is live outside the Emerald Suites with more on what unfolded throughout the day. Joe.
Well, after days of searching, the body of Amari Nicholson was found here at the Seagull Suites. A little after 1 o'clock, his body was removed from this gate you see over here between the building and the wall. And to give you an idea just how close it is to the Emerald Suites where he was last seen 1 week ago, you can see the sign there. It is just around the corner here from Paradise and Twain. Now, there is a memorial just below that sign. People have been bringing by candles and flowers throughout the day. A group of people could be seen outside the Seagull Suites near this location where Amari's body was removed. Investigators found him between the perimeter wall and the building. People were emotional watching this all unfold. He was last known to be alive last Wednesday near that Emerald Suites location where his mother, Taylor Nicholson, was living. Her boyfriend, Terrell Rhodes, was arrested in connection with his murder.
As the investigation unfolded, more disturbing details emerged. During a police interview, Rhodes attempted to grab an officer's gun, leading to additional charges, including assault on a protected person and resisting arrest. This brazen act underscored his volatile nature and disregard for consequences. Investigators also discovered signs of prior abuse during the examination of Amari's body, with bruising and healed injuries suggesting that this was not an isolated incident of violence. Furthermore, Rhodes' search history revealed chilling queries, including searches on how to dispose of a body and avoid police detection. These revelations painted a harrowing picture of premeditation and cruelty that amplified the horror of his actions. The evidence left no room for doubt about Rhodes' dangerous and manipulative tendencies. The coroner's report ruled the death a homicide, and the evidence left no doubt about Rhodes' guilt. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Las Vegas community, which had rallied around Amari's case with hopes of a different outcome. On April 25, 2024, nearly 3 years after the crime, Rhodes appeared in Clark County District Court to plead guilty to first-degree murder and assault on a protected person. The plea deal stipulated a sentence of 20 years to life, with the possibility of parole in 2041. Judge Jacqueline Bluth, known for her no-nonsense approach, indicated that she would likely honor the agreement but emphasized the gravity of Rhodes' actions. Prosecutors painted a damning picture of Rhodes as a man incapable of controlling his temper, with devastating consequences. Defense attorney Robert Langford argued that the plea deal was a fair resolution, sparing Taylor and the community from the trauma of a lengthy trial. The tragic death of Amari Nicholson left an indelible mark on everyone involved. Taylor Nicholson faced immense public scrutiny and guilt, questioning whether she had ignored warning signs about Rhodes' temperament. She later spoke about the difficulty of processing her loss and the betrayal by someone she had trusted. The case also highlighted broader issues, including the challenges faced by single mothers in trusting partners with their children and the importance of recognizing red flags in relationships. Community members called for increased awareness and resources to prevent similar tragedies. For those who followed the case, the memory of Amari's innocent smile serves as a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of children and the responsibility society bears to protect them. While Rhodes will likely spend decades behind bars, the scars left by his actions will endure far longer. The story of Amari Nicholson is a sobering tale of trust betrayed and innocence lost. It underscores the importance of vigilance, compassion, and accountability in ensuring the safety of society's most vulnerable members. As the Las Vegas community continues to heal, Amari's legacy lives on as a call to action to protect children from harm and to never turn a blind eye to potential danger. In the end, the search for Amari did not bring the hope for reunion, but it brought justice, a bittersweet solace for a grieving mother and a community forever changed.